Hello and welcome to Univision Unews. I'm Carolina Sarassa and thank you for your time today. And we began today in Virginia, where a massive gun rights rally is underway at the state capitol. Thousands of people have gathered in Richmond to protest against several proposed gun control bills. The governor of Virginia declaring a state of emergency ahead of the rally, banning firearms and other weapons on state capitol grounds. Pablo Gato joins us by phone from there with the latest. Pablo. And meanwhile, President Trump has been throwing his support behind the protesters, tweeting this morning, the democracy in Puerto Rico. Several government officials have been fired after a warehouse full of supplies was discovered. It appears the items were stored for years, as many on the island struggle to get basic items while recovering from Hurricane Maria and now the recent earthquakes. Lorraine Cáceres has the details.
Many residents stormed the warehouse, walking out of it with all sorts of much-needed items. The mayor of Ponce saying she was furious. She had been requesting cod from Cabo Rojo and water from San Juan and never knew these supplies were sitting in a warehouse in her city. Meanwhile, more than 7,000 people remain in shelters after the recent earthquakes and strong aftershocks. Back to you, Carolina.
Thank you, Lorraine, for that report. And now to Washington. The president's legal team has just filed its legal briefs, calling the impeachment, quote, flimsy and a dangerous perversion of the Constitution. This as President Trump is blasting Democrats for impeaching him. The Department of Homeland Security has renewed an advisory regarding Iran. The bulletin warns of sound to the campaign trail. We're just 2 weeks away from the critical Iowa caucuses, the first vote in the country. Rafael Rodriguez has more. Thank you, Rafa. Now, Democratic presidential contenders celebrated Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy at Baptist Church, and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo announced today that an American staffer from the U.S. mission in Colombia is missing and presumed dead after a boating accident over the weekend. The talk now turning to the royal exit. Prince Harry speaking out for the first time since it was announced that he and his wife are leaving the royal family. The Duke of Sussex making his first public statement on the matter on Sunday. Azul Alvarez reports. Coming up in Australia, and welcome back. In Australia, people have been filming clouds of dust sweeping across New South Wales. The massive fall has brought some relief, but has not extinguished major fires raging in New South Wales and Victoria. Meanwhile, authorities are warning the fire danger will escalate. These fires so far have claimed at least 28 lives since September, destroyed more than 2,600 homes, and burned an area larger than the state of Indiana. A team of American firefighters traveled to Australia to assist during this emergency, and we are joined by Tracy Weaver. Now, there are growing fears about a potentially deadly virus that has sickened more than 200 people and left at least 3 dead in China. Now, 3 U.S. airports in New York, Los Angeles, and San Francisco are screening passengers trying to stop the spread of the virus. David Romo has the details. Meanwhile, in China, a government official says the first human-to-human transmission has been confirmed. 2 people there caught the disease from family members. Some medical workers have reportedly tested positive for the virus as well. And now, over the weekend, animal rights activists protested in front of a California racetrack, demanding an end to the sport at Santa Anita Park. This after 3 horses had to be put down in just 3 days. Roger Borges reports. A sad story. Now, New York State has an important warning for car insurance companies. Do not discriminate. This comes after the state is allowing undocumented immigrants to apply for driver's licenses. Peggy Carranza has the details from New York City.
Department of Financial Services asked those who believe they may have been subjected to discrimination when buying auto insurance to file a complaint on their website. In New York City, Peggy Carranza, Unews.
Thank you, Peggy. Coming up, an epic and welcome back. A jet ski rider is lucky to be alive after being hit by a boat during a terrifying accident last month. A yacht sailor just happened to be nearby and saved his life. Yuri Murungi has the story.
Look.
And now to our series, Second Chances, where we take a look at the difficulties people face after leaving prison. Virginia Mireles had drug abuse issues for many years, but in her time in prison, she decided to make a change. She's been sober for 7 years, and thanks to the skills she acquired in prison, she's now a professional. Dulce Castellanos traveled to Arizona and has more on her story. In and out of prison for crimes related to her drug addiction. On her last conviction, she was sentenced to 6.5 years in prison. And if you recently got out of prison or know some question for all of you, what do you do with an airplane that is no longer flying? Well, instead of junking it, the Mexican government has turned the Boeing 737 into a library for people in one of the poorest and most violent areas in Mexico City. Claudia Zurita has a story.
Utopia is one of the 5 libraries in a plane that will open to the public throughout this year. In Iztapalapa, Mexico City, Claudia Zurita, Unews.
Thank you, Claudia. Up next, in today's tech report, a warning about a scam that targets Microsoft users. Annabelle Sedano has more details.
Hi there, that's right, and we begin with this. The Better Business Bureau is warning about a scam that may end up costing you big time. The typical ploy involves a call from a person who says they are a Microsoft employee. That person might recommend a system upgrade to Windows 7 that requires paying a yearly fee. There could also be a request to get remote access to your computer, putting the user at risk for identity theft. The BBB says reputable companies do not call customers without permission. Microsoft, in particular, says all their support requests start with their customers. Moving on, more than 70,000 photos of Tinder users have been stolen and shared by a cybercrime website. The criminals only stole photographs and data from female accounts, and it is feared that the images could be used to set up fake profiles for catfishing scams. According to Tinder, the use of any photos or information outside the confines of the app is strictly prohibited. The company says it will take whatever steps it could to have the data removed offline. And finally, a hospital in Missouri is testing out a wearable panic button for workers to press in violent situations. That, of course, is if a staff member is needing assistance. If they feel threatened, they can press the button. Once pressed, it immediately sounds an alarm, and it lets all the staff in the area, as well as security, know that they need help and exactly where they are in the department. So there you have it. I'm Annabelle Sedano, and that was your daily dose of tech news. Have a good one, guys.
And welcome back. The Oscars may be Hollywood's biggest night, but the most meaningful night for many actors may be the Screen Actors Guild Awards, where the only people voting are their peers. Jessica Rodriguez recaps the big winners from last night's SAG Awards. And the viral moment of the night goes are only rumors. So the time that we have for today, but we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Hasta mañana y muchas gracias.